One of the best teams that I could see, especially for a newer account that just started playing Hero Wars today, one of the best teams that I could see to build with Ginger would be something like...
It's only a game. Why you have to be mad?
What is up, heroes of Dominion? My name is Charlie. This is Hero Wars Central. I want to talk a little bit about the Hero of the Month, Ginger, on Hero Wars Mobile. Now, having a Hero of the Month who has soul stones that are so incredibly easy to get is kind of a disappointment. And when you take into account the fact that Ginger is such a weak, lack of utility overall hero, it's kind of a bum deal. But I can see why they're doing it. Not only are the engineer class coming to Hero Wars Mobile in the very near future with the release of Isaac, we don't know when that's going to be just yet, but also supposedly Ginger is going to get a small rework as well. So in this video, I thought it'd be interesting to kind of talk a little bit about Ginger, stat leveling priority, how to counter her, that sort of thing. As a physical attacker who has access to a penetration stat, that is always going to be the first thing that you're going to level up. If you have an opportunity to get a skin that levels up armor penetration or a glyph that levels up armor penetration, you really want to focus on that stat first. It will increase the overall damage potential of a hero. The next stats in order are physical attack, agility, health, and magic defense. And if you're ever curious about a stat leveling order, check out HeroWarsCentral.com. I have a page on there where it breaks down just kind of like the general purpose, the general idea, stat leveling priority of every type of hero in the game. So if you're not sure, it's a nice baseline to go off of. There are plenty of exceptions, and there are even more exceptions based on your team. Now, the thing about Ginger and teams is she doesn't really provide any utility for her team. Not yet. We don't really know what the engineer tag is going to look like. Maybe she'll provide some kind of engineer boost to other engineers. In the past, these types of heroes that have gotten these boosts end up being slightly more effective, but hasn't been too game-breaking, especially on Facebook and web, but we're talking about mobile here. So Ginger has no utility. She's just got a bunch of damage skills. She sits pretty far back in the lineup, which is nice because you can kind of protect her, but she does ult a little slower. Also, her defenses are on the low end, given that she's a damage-dealing hero that's not a frontline warrior or anything like that. You're gonna wanna find ways to protect her. So you could start off with a tank that's gonna boost her damage output, like Galahad, or you could use a tank like Astaroth that will revive her if she's the weakest member of your team. You could also use just about any other tank, considering that she's so far back. Specifically, heroes in positions 2 and 3 might matter more than your tank will. So I would say just pick any tank that you want and you'll probably be okay. Beyond that, since she already has armor penetration, you don't necessarily need a hero that provides armor penetration, but it would be cool to have like a Ching Mao, maybe an Elmir. Morgan would be a good addition. And these types of heroes, upping her damage output, will help her become a more effective damage dealer in the long run. You could also use physical attack artifact heroes as well, but you might want to focus on that armor penetration until you get to that certain point that you feel comfortable that you're dealing enough damage. Since she's so far back, she's great to pair with Dorian. Although there are better damage dealers to pair with Dorian, she will usually always have that healing aura, that vampiric aura that Dorian provides. So that's probably the best healer, although any healer will work. A healer like Martha, who will speed up her attacks, is incredibly beneficial, although Celeste or Maya, depending on who you have available, would work just fine. Ginger not having much utility, you really want to focus on a team that will provide a ton of damage. If you are trying to control the enemy team with stuns or blinds or charm effects like with Lian, I would not use a hero like Ginger. Only use a Ginger type hero with no utility if you're trying to kill the enemy team very quickly. One of the best teams that I could see, especially for a newer account that just started playing Hero Wars today, one of the best teams that I could see to build with Ginger would be something like Astaroth, Ching Mao, Nebula, Ginger, and then Martha or Dorian or any other healer of your choice. If you can get Nebula between Ching Mao and Ginger, you're gonna have an incredibly effective damage output team just with that little bit. The healer doesn't matter as much. Neither does the tank. That's a nice, easy to get, relatively inexpensive damage dealing team. It does have a lot of agility skin stones in there between Ginger, Nebula, and Ching Mao, but it is definitely a start. And Ching Mao doesn't necessarily need as much invested in her skins in order to be effective. Her armor penetration artifact will still fire off no matter how high her skins are. Her armor reduction ability will still fire off no matter how high her skins are. So in that team, I would definitely focus the agility skin stones on Ginger and a little bit bit of the bonus attack stat on Nebula as well. Of course, the strength would go into your tank and the intelligence stones would go to your healer. Now, how to counter a hero like Ginger? As a physical damage dealer, one of the #1 ways that you could counter Ginger is by blinding the enemy team. Of course, stuns do well. Stacking armor artifacts are also incredibly beneficial. And since she's so far back, you could potentially see some use out of a hero like Ju that will target that back line if you can clear the healer out behind her or whatever supports are behind her. So Ginger Hero of the Month on Hero Wars Mobile, not super exciting, but let's see what happens when the engineers are released. We're going to be doing another video just like this. I love you all. Good luck in Dominion.